Good evening. The lights inside the studio were blinding. Cameras rolled from every angle. Producers whispered into headsets while a countdown flashed across the giant screen behind the stage. What was supposed to be a polished, carefully controlled appearance by Meghan Markle quickly turned into one of the most uncomfortable live television moments royal watchers had seen in years. By the end of the night, social media was exploding with hashtags. Entertainment outlets were publishing emergency updates, and insiders were reportedly scrambling behind the scenes to contain what many were already calling a brand catastrophe. And it all started with a single audio clip. The interview had been planned for weeks. According to insiders close to the production team, Meghan's appearance was meant to reintroduce her lifestyle brand to the public following months of mixed headlines and declining enthusiasm surrounding several of her recent projects. Sources claimed her team believed the event would reset the narrative and present a softer, more relatable image of the Duchess. The stage itself reflected that strategy perfectly. Warm lighting, elegant cream-colored furniture, fresh flowers carefully arranged beside crystal glasses. The host opened with glowing praise, describing Meghan as a modern icon of reinvention. The audience applauded enthusiastically as Meghan walked onto the stage, wearing a tailored ivory outfit and a composed smile that appeared carefully practiced. For the first 10 minutes, everything went according to plan. She spoke calmly about motherhood. She discussed wellness, positivity, and finding peace amid noise. She smiled while talking about creativity and authenticity. But viewers watching closely began noticing subtle cracks almost immediately. There were awkward pauses, a slight tension in her voice, several moments where she appeared distracted by producers moving nervously near the edge of the set. Then came the question that changed everything. The host leaned forward gently and asked about growing criticism surrounding the management of Meghan's lifestyle projects and recent allegations from former collaborators who claimed the Duchess had become difficult to work with. The smile on Meghan's face tightened instantly. "Well," she replied carefully, "there are always people who try to weaponize negativity when they see women succeeding." The audience clapped politely. But before the conversation could continue, something strange happened. A producer suddenly rushed toward another staff member near the control area. Another person grabbed a headset. The host briefly glanced off camera. At first, viewers assumed it was a normal production issue. Then the audio leak played. Nobody knew exactly how it happened. Some claimed the control room accidentally switched feeds. Others believed an internal staff member intentionally triggered it. But within seconds, a raw behind-the-scenes recording blasted through the studio speakers, and the entire room froze. The voice was unmistakable. It sounded exactly like Meghan. In the recording, a frustrated female voice could allegedly be heard criticizing branding decisions, mocking executives involved with the project, and complaining that certain audiences were impossible to please. At one point, the voice reportedly said, "They'll buy anything if it's packaged emotionally enough." Gasps echoed through the audience. The host's face turned pale. Meghan's expression changed instantly. "What is happening?" she reportedly whispered as producers scrambled in panic. The audio continued for several more painful seconds before suddenly cutting out. But the damage had already been done. Silence filled the studio, the kind of silence that feels physically heavy. Meghan sat completely motionless for a moment, blinking rapidly while cameras remained fixed on her face. Producers appeared unsure whether to cut to commercial or continue broadcasting. Unfortunately for everyone involved, they continued broadcasting. The host attempted to recover first. "Well," he muttered awkwardly, forcing a nervous smile, "I think we may have had some technical difficulties." But the audience was no longer focused on the interview. People were staring at Meghan, waiting. Her face appeared visibly tense now. Gone was the polished warmth from earlier. Her posture stiffened as she adjusted her microphone and glanced repeatedly toward the production crew. Then she spoke. "I have absolutely no idea what that was," she said firmly. But the internet reacted instantly. Within minutes, clips from the broadcast spread across X, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Viewers dissected every second of Meghan's reaction frame by frame. Lip-reading accounts began posting theories. Entertainment commentators launched live streams analyzing the moment in real time. The hashtag Meghan audio leak surged worldwide. And things only became worse when former employees allegedly started speaking anonymously online. One account claiming to be connected to a previous branding team posted, "People are shocked now? This is exactly how meetings always went." Another anonymous comment read, "The public image and the private attitude were always completely different." No evidence confirmed those claims. But by then, public opinion was spiraling rapidly. Inside the studio, the atmosphere reportedly became chaotic during the commercial break. Sources later claimed Meghan's team demanded the interview be stopped immediately. Some producers allegedly wanted to continue, fearing that abruptly ending the broadcast would create even bigger headlines. Executives argued backstage. Staff members rushed between rooms. Meanwhile, audience members were reportedly instructed not to record additional footage. When the program returned from commercial, Meghan attempted to regain control. She smiled again, but this time the confidence appeared forced. "I think this really shows how dangerous misinformation can be," she said carefully. "People manipulate things all the time." The host nodded politely, though viewers online immediately noticed his discomfort. Then came another problem. The host asked directly whether the leaked recording was fake. For several seconds, Meghan didn't answer. That hesitation instantly became the biggest clip online. Commentators replayed the pause endlessly. One viral post with millions of views simply captioned the moment. That silence said everything. Public relations experts quickly entered the conversation. Several media analysts argued the real issue wasn't even the audio itself. It was the response. One branding consultant explained during a television panel, "In crisis management, hesitation can be devastating. Whether the recording was authentic or not, viewers expected immediate clarity. Instead, they saw visible panic." Another expert claimed the incident could deeply damage Meghan's attempts to rebuild public trust. "Lifestyle branding depends entirely on emotional connection and authenticity," the analyst said. "If consumers begin believing the personality behind the brand is performative, the entire business model weakens." Meanwhile, royal commentators across both Britain and America erupted with speculation. Some wondered whether the palace would privately react. Others questioned whether Prince Harry had known about the alleged tensions surrounding the brand beforehand. Tabloids quickly published dramatic headlines suggesting the couple had entered crisis mode. According to one insider, Harry was furious about how the situation unfolded. Another claimed Meghan felt betrayed and suspected someone close to the production intentionally sabotaged the interview. Again, none of those claims were independently verified. But the frenzy surrounding the story kept growing. Then another twist emerged. A media blogger claimed additional recordings allegedly existed. That rumor sent social media into complete meltdown. People began speculating wildly about what other private conversations could potentially surface. Some believed the leak might involve former staff members. Others suspected disgruntled business partners. Conspiracy theories exploded everywhere. One theory suggested rival media executives orchestrated the leak to destroy Meghan's rebranding efforts before an upcoming launch. Another claimed insiders connected to Hollywood power circles were distancing themselves from her behind the scenes. The truth became harder and harder to separate from fiction. Still, the visual damage from the live interview was undeniable. Even people sympathetic to Meghan admitted the appearance had gone terribly wrong. Body language experts analyzed her reactions in lengthy videos. She displayed visible signs of shock and defensive stress, one analyst claimed. Her breathing pattern changed immediately after the recording played. A former television producer described the broadcast as every PR manager's nightmare. "The worst possible thing happened," he explained. The audience witnessed the mask slip in real time. By the following morning, major entertainment networks were leading with the story. Clips from the interview played repeatedly on morning television. Panelists debated whether Meghan had been unfairly targeted or catastrophically exposed. Public reaction appeared deeply divided. Supporters argued the leak could have been manipulated using AI technology. Critics insisted the reaction alone confirmed its authenticity. And while the debate raged publicly, brand partners reportedly began growing nervous privately. Several online users noticed promotional content connected to Meghan's projects quietly disappearing from company pages. One rumored collaboration suddenly postponed a scheduled announcement. Industry insiders claimed executives feared becoming entangled in controversy. A luxury marketing strategist explained why brands panic during scandals like this. "Companies invest in emotional association," she said. "If public perception becomes unstable, advertisers immediately reassess risk." For Meghan, the timing could not have been worse. She had spent months attempting to present herself as calm, grounded, and inspirational. Her team reportedly believed audiences were finally warming again after a long period of intense criticism. But the audio leak shattered that carefully controlled momentum overnight. And unfortunately, the internet never forgets. Memes flooded every platform imaginable. Parody videos recreated the interview dramatically. One viral TikTok used slow-motion edits of Meghan's reaction while suspense music played in the background. Late-night comedians joined the frenzy too. Several hosts mocked the disastrous broadcast during opening monologues. One joke received thunderous applause. That interview went from wellness retreat to corporate hostage situation in under 30 seconds. Even mainstream journalists began questioning whether celebrity culture itself had become dangerously performative. Columnists wrote essays about image manipulation, curated authenticity, and the growing public hunger for realness from famous figures. And Meghan found herself at the center of all of it. Meanwhile, sources close to the Duchess reportedly insisted she was devastated. One insider claimed she spent hours after the broadcast in emergency meetings with advisors. Another source alleged tensions exploded internally as staff searched desperately for whoever may have leaked the recording. According to rumors, legal teams even became involved. But the situation worsened again when a professional audio engineer weighed in publicly. After reviewing the clips circulating online, the expert claimed there were no obvious signs of AI distortion or synthetic editing. That statement intensified the controversy dramatically. Soon, entertainment reporters were asking an even bigger question. Could Meghan's public image recover from this? Some experts believed yes, others weren't so sure. Celebrity redemption is possible, one crisis strategist explained, but only if the audience believes the response is genuine. And that, many argued, was becoming the central problem. Because every new statement released by Meghan's representatives seemed overly polished and corporate. One official response described the incident as a coordinated attempt to spread misinformation and distort empowering female leadership. Critics immediately mocked the wording online. It sounds like it was written by 12 lawyers and 3 branding consultants, one viral post joked. Still, supporters continued defending her aggressively. Many argued Meghan had been subjected to uniquely harsh treatment for years, and that public outrage toward her often became disproportionate compared to other celebrities. Some pointed to media double standards. Others believed the entire scandal was intentionally exaggerated because of her royal connection. But regardless of perspective, the controversy dominated headlines globally. And then came perhaps the most humiliating moment of all. During a separate television discussion about the scandal, one former entertainment executive made a brutal observation. People can forgive arrogance, he said. What they struggle to forgive is perceived insincerity. That quote spread everywhere. Because for many viewers, the live interview fundamentally changed how they saw Meghan, not because of the alleged recording alone, but because of the visible collapse of control, the polished confidence, the carefully curated elegance, the inspirational messaging. All of it suddenly felt fragile under pressure, and audiences noticed immediately. Some royal historians even compared the moment to earlier public relations disasters involving famous public figures who lost control of their narratives during live broadcasts. There's something uniquely powerful about live humiliation, one commentator observed. People feel like they witnessed the truth accidentally escaping. As days passed, the scandal evolved beyond a single interview. It became symbolic. To critics, it represented celebrity branding gone too far. To supporters, it represented another example of relentless public targeting. To media companies, it became ratings gold. Every network wanted experts. Every podcast wanted insider gossip. Every tabloid wanted exclusive updates. And through it all, Meghan herself remained mostly silent. That silence created even more speculation. Some believed she was preparing legal action. Others claimed she was regrouping for a major public response. Then reports surfaced that several planned appearances might be postponed indefinitely. One entertainment reporter claimed sponsors were requesting reputation reassessments before moving forward with campaigns connected to the Duchess. Again, none of the reports were fully confirmed, but perception was rapidly becoming reality. Even public polling online appeared brutal. One survey asking viewers whether the audio leak damaged Meghan's credibility reportedly received overwhelming yes responses. Meanwhile, YouTube commentary channels exploded with analysis videos accumulating millions of views. Titles became increasingly dramatic. The brand collapse begins. Meghan exposed live. The interview that changed everything. And yet, amid all the noise, one uncomfortable reality lingered. Nobody actually knew the full truth. Was the recording authentic? Was it manipulated? Was it selectively edited? Or had the entire situation been deliberately engineered by someone seeking maximum chaos? The uncertainty kept the story alive. But in modern media culture, uncertainty often matters less than optics. And visually, the optics were devastating. Because millions of people watched Meghan Markle lose control live on camera. They watched the panic, the confusion, the hesitation, the visible discomfort. And once audiences emotionally lock onto a narrative, reversing it becomes incredibly difficult, especially online. By the end of the week, the scandal had evolved into one of the most talked about celebrity controversies of the year. Even people who normally ignored royal news suddenly knew about the audio leak. Brands watched nervously. Executives monitored public sentiment. Commentators continued debating whether the incident marked a temporary setback or something far more damaging. And somewhere behind closed doors, advisors were almost certainly attempting to answer one terrifying question. How do you rebuild a brand after the world watches it crack in real time? For Meghan, the answer remained uncertain. But one thing was undeniable. The interview that was supposed to restore her image had instead become a viral spectacle of chaos, tension, and humiliation that the internet would replay for years. And in the ruthless world of modern celebrity culture, sometimes a single leaked moment is all it takes to turn carefully crafted perfection into public collapse. Thank you for watching. Write what you think about it. Subscribe to the channel.